the aftermath of the Black Lives Matter here in Toronto exposed so many things that we have known for so long, i.e., the racism within the gay movement. I mean, that is not new. There have been consistently so many little jokes and things made among blacks with reference to behavior within the gay community. It was always evident at the in the clubs, in the relationships. It was so evident that we often said that the racism within the gay community was as vitriolic and often more vitriolic than outside of it. Why? Because the stakes were higher. Why do I say that? You say, what were the stakes? The stakes were as simple as who's going to get who. Those are the highest stakes. And how many times have we seen when a situation in which there would be a black person and a white person vying for the attentions of the same white person. And believe me when I tell you that when it came down to the last way of some white person making their pitch, it was on color. Always. And everybody knew it.
Were there
so
a lot
to
of...
pretend...
sorry, continue. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
That's why, we had to just sort of throw our heads back and laugh when there was all this sort of like, well, we have always been one. No. And I always took umbrance against that whole thing of the gay movement being equivalent to the black movement. Never. I tell people all the time, listen, it makes no difference what movement you're talking about. You can be talking about the gay movement. You could be talking about the challenge, anybody who's challenged, physically challenged, mentally challenged, the feminist movement. When you can have, okay, let's say you have a gay person going through whatever, but if they're gay and black, that's where I have to come from. If they are challenged, physically challenged and black, mentally challenged and black, female and black, and any time you have to use the one word that is common to all those conditions, then it's obvious that that's the word I have to center on. And that word is what makes the difference between any one of those grievances from a white point of view and from the black point of view or the minority view. Because I could put native to any one of them and get the same kind of difference. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why when people, this was pointed out, and we pointed out to them many times too, no matter what one of those movements you're talking about, when you are honest, totally honest, and deal with something that none of them want to talk about, and that is that the first reason why we are included is to increase the numbers. And then when things start coming the way, positive things start happening, the ones who benefit first from them are not us. This is a reality. And people don't like to hear that. Well, I'm sorry, but if we're going to do what you claim we want done, which is to have basic improvement. This must be dealt with. This is the honest thing, and that is why in each of these cases, what rears its head, racism. It's defining. Does it please me? No. I am all about dealing with the issue, but I cannot deal with the issue by addressing only part of the issue. And the part that I really need to have injected in it is the one that fears people most. Well, how can you get anything done if you're going to leave out the most important aspect that has to be covered in order to get it done? I have to tell you that there's a phrase that drives me so up the wall. It is, every time I hear this, we have come so far, but we still have far to go. I don't want to hear that, because I don't know how far we have come. It's when I have to deal with the same things now that I dealt with 50 years ago, and that were being dealt with before I ever became involved with it, the generation before me and the generation before me, but I can deal with my 50 years. If you're going to tell me we have come to, why am I still dealing with the exact same thing? Why am I hearing the same words? They're almost verbatim. And I'm saying, but there was this illusion that if we give it at least 10 years, which seemed an eternity, then, this will be solved. We'll be well on our way. Well, that's 10 times 5, and we're still at the same place. And in some cases, further back than we were 50 years ago. When I saw the Black Lives Matter movement begin, that was like a breath of much-needed oxygen. It was like, and of course it has just snowballed because the effects, I can see effects that probably you can see, but probably a lot of people don't see. And one of the main things is watching it catch. And I say catch. When a movement goes from a specific age group and starts spreading until it covers all ages in terms of involvement, you know it's a movement. And that is the one thing, or not the one thing, one of the main things that has really, really been a source of tremendous, joy for me in watching the Black Lives Matter movement. Because it's not at all unlike this. Even up to 5 years ago, maybe even less than 5 years ago, when I'd be talking with young black groups or young black people, and they'd say, well, they would be talking about what they knew about the civil rights movement, the late 50s, 60s, 70s. Why was this going on? Why was that going on? I say, and they say, and what can we do? What? Keep learning, but most of all, keep your eyes open. Something will happen. It's called a catalyst. You never know when the catalyst is coming. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it will be. No one knew on a very large scale that the catalyst in 1957 would be the world hearing Rosa Parks say no. No one knew that, but it echoed around the world. And that's when so many other groups started saying no, whether it be the feminist movement, gay movement came later, but other saying no, and people saying no around the world. A simple thing like that. Well, Black Lives Matter was a catalyst. And it is interesting, too, that the only thing that changed in terms of the catalyst was a new group of people and the time. But the catalyst was the same. It was no, no, no. And done in a way that word no was recognized by many different people, and certainly different people in the family around the world. And so then you have Black Lives Matter in London, in Germany, in wherever, and all calling themselves the same thing because we all are saying the same no. When I was in New York, I was down there studying in 1967, 68. And that was the height of the anti-Vietnam. So yeah, I saw the marches. I saw people in the march were right there and get walked on by horses. First time I'd ever seen that in my life. And people being dragged, their friends dragging them off. Yeah. And so once again, which brings us to, another aspect of what's going on. The whole police thing. It is not new. The only thing that's new is the iPhone.